appetit. Bon appetit. Bon appetit. Bon appetit. Bon appetit. Bon appetit. Tonight on the menu, I've heard good and bad things about this meal. It is called, I'm not sure it has an official name, Olive Garden chicken? We're just gonna go with that because the lure of this is the famous Olive Garden Italian dressing. Let me clean my lens. Okay, that's better. You guys know that this is my absolute favorite dressing for salads. So when I saw this infamous recipe going around, I said, oh, well, I have to try that. One thing I will say, hold on, let me let me first tell you what you need. And then I'll say some more about it. You obviously need the Olive Garden Italian dressing. You need some pasta, or not if you don't want to. Chicken stock, because I'm doing it my way. Some Parmesan. You can use the dust if you have it, but I'm fancy over here. I'm basically a professional. So I'm gonna use the good stuff. And by good stuff, I mean pre-shredded. It's no big deal. And then some cream cheese. Kind of, maybe. We'll discuss it. Oh, and you obviously need chicken. I just threw mine right in the Instant Pot. I didn't want to have to put it on a dish and then have to clean the dish. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I did my research. There are a lot of reviews about this, and just by reading them, I can kind of agree. Because this dressing is super salty. It's like a punch in the face flavor, and adding the whole bottle, which is what the original recipe suggests, a 16-ounce bottle. This is larger because I got it from Costco and everything's bigger at Costco. Welcome to America. Anyway, so I'm just gonna add 8 ounces, which is 1 cup. And then I'm gonna cut the flavor. I'm still gonna get the flavor of the dressing, but it won't be as prominent. Oh, look at that. I had this chicken stock. Got a lot of kids. I don't know where I was. We're gonna cut the craziness of this. It won't punch you in the face. It'll just gently tap your taste buds a little bit. We're gonna add a cup of this. Oh, I think I was saying I had this in my fridge. Perfect, wonderful, moving along. Oh, and the original recipe suggests that you make it in your crock pot. Well, I don't have a couple hours because that's my life. I'm gonna throw it in my Instant Pot for about 30 minutes. Just kidding, we're not at that step yet. You take about 1/4 cup of the cheese and just sprinkle it over the chicken. I don't measure, just a handful, guys. More or less, you'll be fine. And some recipes say to put a block of cream cheese in now, but again, my research, because I'm a professional and the Food Network called me about it, apparently people say to add the cream cheese at the end and it'll be creamier, so we're gonna follow that rule. Well, it's been a little over 30 minutes, so we'll continue the process. No venting necessary. Ooh, it smells good. Actually, when I walked in my house, I thought, ooh, it kind of smells like hot dogs.
That's what I said.
Really?
Yeah.
It kind of does smell like hot dogs.
I said, wouldn't Mom make hot dogs?
Yeah. Which isn't an appealing smell, but that's what it smelled like. I'm holding a baby, so I'm trying to just, oh, there it goes. All right, I'm just gonna stir that in until it melts. Okay, I'm gonna just, oh, is the chicken done? Oh my gosh, it better be done, I swear to God. Moment of truth. Okay, yeah, that's done, right? It wouldn't, yeah, okay, perfect. I was gonna say, man, if that was sitting in there 30 minutes cooked and then sitting for a solid 2 hours, it's still not done, we got problems. Is it done? Okay, I'm just gonna use a potato masher and just try to shred the chicken. Well, that's not working. Well, is it? It's what the professionals do, you know? Oh, yes, yes, yes. See how creamy this looks now? Little taste test here. Meredith wants some too. she's licking her lips. Our water is boiling, so we're gonna cook the pasta. So nice. And I'm throwing some frozen broccoli into my microwave. I'm just gonna add the noodles straight into here. I did reserve some for Meredith. Ooh, creamy noodling. I'll tell you what. It smells really good. The sauce looks really thin, but that's okay. Okay, there it is. It is begging for some color, so if you have some parsley in your garden, you go ahead and throw that on. I can't keep a garden, so inaudible mumbling. I contemplated for a long time. Should I put this in a nicer bowl? And well, you know my conclusion. So to top it off, use your parsley if you're fancy, or some more Parmesan cheese. As if it's not cheesy enough. And dinner is served. Bon appetit. I'm also going to serve it with broccoli because my kids love broccoli and I feel like it's a good addition and it's something healthy, definitely because There's hardly anything healthy in that pasta dish. It's just a bunch of cheese. Okay, I have so much to say about this. When I hear people saying, oh yeah, this is such a good recipe, and they didn't substitute half of the dressing for chicken stock, I just think, oh my gosh, even this, when you cut it halfway with chicken broth or stock, it still has a lot of tang to it. So definitely something that you have to be in the mood for. Just saying, it was delicious. It was good. The kids ate it. All that good stuff. Easy to throw together. So everything we want in a, weeknight dinner. But yeah, something to think about if you're not into the tang. Tonight for dinner, I have something super fancy, or at least fancy for me, but it also looks super easy. So I'm super into it. Super. It's super. I don't know what it's called. I just wrote the ingredients down on a Post-it note. Let's just call it, I don't know, cranberry rosemary delicious chicken. Sounds good to me. Here's what you're going to need. I have rosemary. It's like the rosemary that doesn't go bad. It's amazing. I bought this forever ago, so rosemary is my new favorite herb because it stays fresh forever. I also finally found these fresh cranberries in my grocery store. I've been waiting to make this meal for, I don't know, well over a month. I think a couple weeks ago I posted my fall what's for dinner, and this recipe was supposed to go in that, but alas, here we are, better late than never. You also need some cocoa aminos, or soy sauce if you have it, maple sugar, what is that called? Maple syrup, there it is. Some white wine, I don't have any of that, but I do have chicken broth, so I feel like that's good enough. Also some garlic, preferably fresh, and then olive oil. You know what? I'm really low. Oh, there's a little bit in there. I also looked, I'm like fresh out of oil of every kind. I'm making brownies too much. All right, let's get started. It starts out in a blender or food processor because I'm not really best friends with my blender, so. Oh, did I explain? Oh, we're making a marinade. So middle of my day, you really only need to marinate it for 30 minutes, but if you know anything about marinades, the longer you let it sit, the better it is. So a 1/3 cup of cranberries, and that looks like, well, a little too much. But the more the merrier. How about 1/3 cranberries? Perfect. 2 tablespoons of oil, and that's all she wrote. 2 tablespoons of cocoa aminos. Feeling kind of weird. Oh wow, look at that. The bottom of the bottle for everything over here. 2 tablespoons of syrup, a 1 and a 2. 3 cloves of garlic. Do you see how delicious this is? Perfect. Oh, this is so beautiful. 1 teaspoon of rosemary. And last time I used this herb, I kept calling it thyme. I think you get it off the stem in the same fashion. Am I incorrect? I don't know. Does thyme even remotely look like this? I don't know. Oh, that just smells like the holidays to me. And then a 1/4 cup of white wine, AKA chicken broth. Doesn't that just look like the holidays? The holiday season. Oh, I cannot wait for Christmas. I know we've got a ways. You know what? I can't wait for Thanksgiving. How about that? All right, let's whip it. Here is what the beautiful mixture looks like. Oh, beautiful and festive. How do we get it out of here? I would never think to put those ingredients together, but that's why we have Pinterest, right? Okay, I have some bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. And this, my friends, is what separates the amateurs from the professionals. I feel like real cooks cook with bone-in, skin-on stuff. It just gives it so much more flavor. So what we're gonna do is put this marinade all over it. We're gonna give it a good massage as well. I just wanna make sure to get every little bit out of there because they're my ingredients and I paid for them and I wanna eat them. I think this is where the term cooking with love comes in. You just give it a good rub down, you know? Actually, that looks really pretty. I want to take a picture. I'm gonna put a cover over this. This thing came with a silicone cover. I'm gonna pop it into the fridge, and right now it's 3 o'clock, so it's gonna be in there for a couple hours before I throw it into the oven. But I'll be right back in your eyes. Ah, looks so good. Somebody call the Food Network. Are you kidding me? Let me pull you closer in, Tony Danza. Oh my, do you see the vibrant colors? Do you see this? This is like a Michelin top rated meal right now, and I haven't even tasted it. Just purely on looks, 10 out of 10. Raw meat has never looked that good. Well, it's been marinating for a few hours now. Per the directions, I am to brush off, I don't know, the marinade mixture from the top shove it to the sides, I guess. And then I found some oil in my garage. It's so large, it's ridiculous. Anyway, put like brush a tablespoon over, oh gosh, each chicken, I guess. Oh, stop, Kim. It's just a tablespoon cumulatively brushed over, not per breast, but you know, I like to go above and beyond here. Pop this in. Actually, let this come to room temperature because room temperature chicken cooks evenly. Did we learn that in culinary school? Yes, we did. I'm gonna preheat my oven to 375 and then pop it in. For 22 minutes. Precisely. Man, forgot something. The cranberries, you guys. A half a cup of cranberries. I wonder if they'll cook. It's already been in there for 22 minutes. You know what? I'll shove it in there for longer. Like, these are huge chicken thighs. Surely they need more than 22 minutes. And then, after that, you just drizzle some maple syrup on top of them. It's gonna be great. Well, if this isn't Food Network magazine quality, I don't know what is. You guys, this was so easy to make and create and bake. Oh, I just hope it is as delicious as it looks. Like how I threw those thyme sprigs in there. I mean, it's all about the photo, am I right? Never mind about how good this thing looked. It also tasted just as good, if not better. And it's just so simple to throw together, so definitely recommend it. Drooling. And then to balance out my greatness, these look so sad. I just cut up a few carrots and a bunch of Brussels sprouts. And then I have these homemade mashed potatoes from Costco. But this is the real star of the show. Bon appetit. In case I forget to do a voiceover, this chicken should be Michelin star rated. It is so good, so juicy. Obviously it's a thigh, and it was cooked with the skin on, bone in, and everything is juicier that way, but absolutely delicious.
I contemplated sharing this recipe with you. I just want to make a quick, easy soup for tonight. We also have this leftover chicken. It's rotisserie chicken from Costco. I just pulled it off. We just didn't eat it all. And I thought, well, I need to use this up, or I could freeze it, whatever. But I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and make a soup. You need your basic ingredients. It is called a mirepoix. Thank you, Julia Child. Just carrots, celery, and an onion. And I just grabbed, I don't know, a few ribs of celery, a few carrots, and then an onion. I'm thinking about doing two. That's the best part of the soup, right? Some people, maybe the chicken. I don't know. Then you just need some chicken broth or chicken stock. For me, I'm doing equal parts of each for no good reason, just because that's what I have, and you use what you have. But this is the star of the show. This is the reason why I decided, you know what? I need to share this with them. If you've been around for quite some time, you know this secret already, and I'm actually kind of worried about these. Oh no, they're gonna be fine. I thought they were like all frozen in a chunk. They're fine. These are Ream's noodles. Gone are the days of using egg noodles, you guys. Nasty, gross, chewy, disgusting, filthy. Insert whatever adjective you want. You might like them. I don't care if you do. Use them if you want to, if you have them. But I'm telling you, if you give these a try, they're in the frozen food section with they're like right by the ravioli, like frozen ravioli, top shelf for me anyway. They should be middle center because everyone should know about these. They're delicious. They literally taste like homemade noodles. But you know what? They're better because I've made homemade noodles before and they're not as good as these. Plus, it's super easy. For my family, I do 2 bags because we're making like a hearty, you know, this is a lot of soup. So let's just start it out. Okay, nothing too fancy happening here. These are washed and I typically don't peel my carrot. Well, should I peel them? I typically don't. I'm just gonna leave them. I was going to because I thought these were the dirty ones. Well, I mean, they're not dirty, but sometimes I buy carrots from Costco that just look dirty. Also, I have to sharpen my knife, and every square inch of my body does that whenever I have to sharpen my knives because the noise, so I always have to like, it just makes me cringe. Ready? It's like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing. Okay, we'll see if that did anything. Also, whenever I sharpen knives, it just reminds me of one episode I saw of, how am I cutting these? Let's do this. Top Chef because, lost a carrot. I binge watched Top Chef when I was in my woes of morning sickness with Meredith. And there was one challenge that they started out with dull knives. I don't really remember what it was, but I just remember them having to sharpen their knives and how mad the chefs were because it took so long. Clearly, it didn't take me long at all, but these are less than chef quality. Ooh, but I guess I did a good job. Look at these knife cuts. These are a little big. I'm just gonna do half moons instead. I don't know where my other knife is. It's driving me crazy. It's hanging out with my cherry pitter and my makeup brush and everything else that I've lost. Okay, I don't know about you, but in my chicken soup, oh my God, I didn't even cut the celery all the way. You know what the most dangerous thing about a kitchen is, don't you? Dull knives. Hey, since we're on dad jokes, what's the heaviest thing in the world? Anyone? Anyone? Sleepy eyelids. Isn't that funny? That's funny, I don't care. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this onion. We've seen it all before. And there it is, like a true professional. My meatball. I think I need a bigger cutting board. You know what? I am gonna use my trusty old pot here, and it is on its last leg. I mean, I replaced my pots like a year and a half ago, but I always come back to this one because it's just my favorite. It's tried and true. And you guys always ask what the brand is, so I'll try to link it below. And while I'm linking it, hey, I think I'm gonna buy a new one myself because that's how much I truly love it. I have an induction stove top, a little bit of oil here, and so I need a specific type of pots and pans, and this fits into that category. Okay, I'm just gonna shove all of the vegetables into the nice hot pan. I love my induction stovetop because it gets hot within a matter of seconds. It's incredible. I can boil water in like 4 minutes. Ooh, calm down. I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. I let this go a little longer than I wanted. I didn't want it to get any color. Some of the carrots have color on them, but that just adds flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning because it's my kitchen and I don't care. You know what? It's my chicken soup, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be eating it. If you don't want Italian seasoning in yours, I'm adding a little bit of garlic too. And by a little bit, I mean more. If you don't like Italian seasoning, leave it out. Oh, also a seasoning I should mention is, oh crud, what's it time? What's it time? Your time would be a good one. That's not what I was going to say. It's not what's on my mind. What is on my mind? Celery seed. That's a good one. If you don't want chunks of celery, replace it with celery seed. Oh, I'm sure that would be absolutely delicious. And I'm just adding my new all-time favorite seasoning of all time. Oh my gosh. This Kinder Buttery Steakhouse. I mean, seriously guys, put this crap on everything and you won't be disappointed. Waking up my spices a little bit because they've been laying dormant in my spice cabinet. And then I just have a, I don't know, a cutting board full of chicken. I cut it into smaller pieces than I had when I tore it off of the rotisserie chicken. If I had to guess how much I'm adding, it would be precisely 2 handfuls and then more to spare. And then I'm going to add 2 cartons of chicken broth or chicken stock. And that's about 8 cups. Or you can use like the better than bouillon kind of stuff if you're into that. I don't know, guys. I bought it one time. Maybe I got a bad batch, but it just tasted kind of funky. I even kept it in the fridge. Oh, yes. Oh, doesn't chicken soup just... Oh my gosh, you know what I almost forgot to do? Hold on, hold on. I was so excited to share the Reams noodles with you that I almost forgot to tell you this was my initial plan to make these rolls, but something even better. This is even better. Oh, if you've never had these, I know they sell them at normal grocery stores, but I get them from Costco because I like to buy them in bulk. I'm going to make 2 bags, which makes 4, oh, what are they? They're Les Petits Français, also known as French baguettes. They cook up so quickly, so I'm not gonna throw these into my oven until I throw the Reams noodles in here. And for these, all you do is, I don't really follow the directions because like, have we met? But I preheat my oven to like 425. I throw them in right away, and by the time your oven hits 425, they're like overcooked. So you have to watch them. They get brown, but they're so delicious. It's like fresh bread. Do more people talk about these? Is anyone else? Because they should. They are literally so delicious. Speaking of delicious, oh yeah, that smells really good. Like my hair, by the way, I should do a hair tutorial. Okay, I'm just gonna let this come up to a boil or simmer until we're like 20 minutes away from dinner, and then I'll add the noodles in and do the, whatever that is, French bread. Okay, my soup is coming to a boil, and I'm just gonna throw in the noodles for 20 minutes. I haven't decided if I want 1 bag or 2 bags. I need to decide right now because they need to cook. I think one bag is good. We're gonna stick with 1 bag. But in the past, I have shared my crock pot. It's a creamy crock pot chicken noodle recipe. Oh my gosh, it is. If you don't care about calories, if you don't care about anything, try that recipe. It's so good. You use like 1 whole stick of butter. You use cream of chicken, maybe a couple of them. It is divine and very, very creamy. But for now, lid off and simmer for 20 minutes. Look at that steam. Oh my gosh. And I got the French bread out of the oven before it completely burned, so I call that a win. It takes less than 15 minutes to cook that. And the noodles, oh my gosh, you guys, the best. So we're gonna plate this up and eat it. Bon appetit. Oh, you guys know I just had to plate this. Can you see the steam? Oh yes. And then the watermelon in the background. It's totally fall in Florida. Okay, there it is. Oh my gosh, tastes so good, and it's so simple to just throw together.
Oh my word. It is the day after Halloween, the morning after, if you will. It's a rough one. I pretty much ate my weight in candy. Also, it was a full moon last night, blue moon even, and it was daylight savings time. The trifecta, which should have reset 2020. Did it work? I don't know yet. Results have yet to be verified. Okay, tonight for dinner, I'm doing a marinade, which is why I'm starting early in the morning. I'm making, can you even read this? Probably not. Chicken Marbella. I've made this multiple times in the past, but I'm using a different recipe this time. Normally, it's not this, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Inclusive? Involved? Normally I just use like capers and olives and olive oil and we're good to go, but this recipe calls for some garlic, olives, any type you like. I like the Spanish olives, deliciously salty. Also capers in their brine, also really salty. Some dried pitted dates and then red wine vinegar. Also toward the end you're going to need some brown sugar and white wine vinegar. I'm going to omit the white wine because that's how we roll. I'm just going to use some chicken stock and I feel like that's going to be great. So, oh, also you're going to need some chicken, which, listen, I do not have my life together. I actually thawed this out this morning. I took it from my freezer, threw it in a sink full of water. It started out warm and then it got icy cold. I don't know, it's been in there for a couple hours. I showered, did all that stuff. No skill involved at all. And I actually took out way too much. I took out 2 bags of chicken thighs, bone in, skin on, because that's where the flavor comes from. And then I took out a package of drumsticks, but I'm gonna have to keep this for something else because it doesn't fit in my pan. I could get another pan, but this is plenty. Okay, we're gonna start out with a 1/3 cup of olive oil. Bad news, this measuring cup only has 1/2 cup, 1 cup, 1/2 cup increments. So we're just gonna eyeball it, which is what we do anyway. Good enough. 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. Oh, I don't know about you, but I love red wine vinegar. Delicious. 1/4 cup of capers. Aw, man. Oh yeah. That's a trick. You bang the jar upside down to release the seal. Sometimes it works, okay? Sometimes it doesn't. 1/4 cup of capers with the brine, so get some brine in there. I don't have much left in the jar, and like, what am I gonna do with the rest of these? But I don't really like capers, so I don't know. I would normally just add them. And then some olives, 1 for the chef, maybe 2. Oh my gosh. How much are these? 1/3 cup of olives, or more. Leave your measuring spoons in the cupboard for this one. It's not necessary. Yeah, I'm gonna do more than that. I like olives. The recipe calls for 5 cloves of garlic, and we are reaching the end of this jar here. And that's all she wrote. Fresh garlic if you have it, but you know. And then here's the kicker. 1 cup of prunes. Yes, pitted prunes. Doesn't that look appetizing? Can I tell you something? It might still be in here. Wentworth got into these and oh, here it is. He bit into one. And he decided he would rather eat something else. So 1 cup of pitted prunes. Apparently it's supposed to, you know, keep it sweet, have that salty sweet balance. I don't know, I've never added them before. I assume if I wanted to do dishes, I would definitely cut them up, but I'm lazy. What is that, a cup? Who cares? That's plenty, right? Maybe a couple more, call it a day. Give it a nice little mix. Oh yeah, that looks appetizing. And you take the mixture, actually let me fix the chicken a little bit. Well, it doesn't matter, it's all gonna marinate together. And you just, you dump the mixture right over top. You don't even have to mix it in a bowl or anything. And you know what, if I was filming, I don't think I would have, because now I have to wash this crap. Who else loves dishes? Oh yes, and then give it a good massage here with the juices flowing, all the dates. Wait, these aren't dates, these are prunes, even better. Get the prunes in the juice. Oh yeah, this is a party. Looks like a nasty party, but a party nonetheless. All right, that looks good. And look at this, 5 minutes in the lull of the day, and dinner is basically served. Well, not quite. I'm gonna pop a lid on this, throw it in my fridge for as long as you can, overnight really if you want to. The longer you marinate, the better, isn't that right? For me, I'll probably marinate it for about 5 hours because, well, maybe 6, 7, I don't know, depending on what time we want dinner. And then I'll show you what else we're making. It's done marinating. I let it come to room temperature while I preheat the oven, and I forgot to add Italian seasoning. So I threw it on at the end. I don't know if that's in the recipe, but what the recipe says to do was put it on a sheet pan with aluminum foil. I feel really bad for wasting that aluminum foil, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna let it cook in here. And the kicker to this recipe is to coat it with some brown sugar, just like so. And if you have the wine, you are to, I don't remember how much, probably about half a cup, and just pour it in between the chicken. But this is so juicy, I might add a little bit. I don't know how much brown sugar I'm supposed to add, but the more the merrier, because that's what's gonna make it look nice and caramelized and delicious. I'm maybe just gonna add a little bit. I don't know what this is gonna do.
What is that?
Okay, I probably added 2 tablespoons. It's probably not gonna do anything. Pop this in the oven. I'm gonna do 400. Recipes say like 350 for an hour, but I'm gonna do like 400 for less than that. Loving you round the clock. Here it is, all finished. Oh my gosh, it looks so stinking good. See that bubbling? Ooh, a bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Halloween's over, but you know what? We'll say it all year long if we want to. Can I tell you, I don't know how long I cooked this. I also don't have any sides ready because, you know, mom life. I had to do a bunch of stuff, put baby to bed and, you know, laundry, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to pop quick sides together while this cools down a bit. I don't know if I mentioned, but you're supposed to, if you're a professional, which I obviously am, so which I make my own rules, but if you follow the recipe to a T, you're supposed to like take a baster and baste this a few times while it's cooking. Yeah, I didn't do that. For the sides, I put together some really extensive luxury items. Brown and red rice with chia and kale. It's the Seeds of Change. It's the same brand as we get the lentils. Apparently my kids really like this. I've had this for quite some time, so I'm glad we're going through it. And then you only have to cook in the microwave for like 90 seconds. And then I just made some frozen broccoli. Broccoli from frozen, whatever. Delicious. Bon appetit. On the menu tonight. Ooh, voice cracked a little bit. Wasn't ready for it. Oh, Meredith's already crying. I didn't write the title down. I think it's just called chicken curry. Delicious dish. Normally, I don't really follow a recipe, but I did not print one out. I wrote it down. I don't know, it's pretty simple. Also, it's very delicious. So run through of ingredients, just a tablespoon or 2 of brown sugar. My old recipe does not have brown sugar, so if you don't have it, or if you don't want to add the sugar, don't add it. Cilantro, ugh, makes everything better. A few seasonings, which really kick things up a notch. Curry powder, coriander, and masala. I always say that wrong. Just a little bit of coconut oil. If you don't have it, just use normal oil. It'll be fine. Red curry paste. This makes everything delicious. And then you need some coconut milk It says 1 can, I might do 2. Bell peppers, if you don't like bell peppers, use tomatoes. I have a little bit of, what's this? Oh, you know what that is? Ginger. If you don't have that, use the powder stuff or just omit it if you're not into ginger. And then some garlic. And I'm gonna cook up some, oh, that's not white rice, that's jasmine rice because it's fragrant and delicious. Oh, and chicken. My chicken is thawing out in the sink right here. Good. I'm just gonna add a couple tablespoons of coconut oil. I don't know why I'm adding that much. That's what the recipe says. And I have 2 bell peppers. Ooh! Also feel like I definitely could have cut up 4, but I didn't. Okay, so just let this cook down for a couple minutes till it's, you know, till they're soft. Not too soft, but Goldilocks style soft, you know? Also 2 things. Ginger is so potent. If you're unaware, I'm gonna cut all of this up, but maybe like half of it is what I want. And the second thing is, I retract my statement about the coconut oil. If you don't have it, use something else. If you don't have it, go to the store and buy some, okay? Because this stuff smells absolutely amazing. I'm adding the garlic and the ginger right in here. Ooh, smells so good. I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of the curry paste. And really, I mean, you can add as much as you want. There's not that a whole ton in the jar. I'm just gonna add the whole jar because what the heck am I gonna do with like a teaspoon left of this? There's probably a 1/4 cup in the jar and we're just adding it all. Last time I added just a little bit and my husband said, I can have more of that. We're also going to add 2 teaspoons of the curry powder or more. 2 teaspoons of the coriander. Oh my gosh, this stuff smells so good. Oh yeah. I'm gonna add some more curry powder. It's your kitchen, okay? You do what you want. Also, some of this masala. How about some of that? Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna mix that around a little bit just to wake the spices up. Just to say, good evening. The party's about to happen. Put on your Sunday best. All right, what else do we add? Then you add another tablespoon of coconut oil. Ooh, yes, it smells good. Meredith was just sniffing. And then you add the chicken. You just let that cook in all the spices and stuff for about, I don't know, until it's done cooking. 5 minutes? Let's do that, 5 minutes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. All those spices are coating the chicken. Look how good that looks. My mouth is literally salivating. Oh my gosh, I'm ready to eat. Well, it's been about 5 minutes, so I would say that, I mean, the chicken kind of looks done. It's hard to tell because there's so many spices. I used to be pretty notorious for undercooking my chicken, but I think that ship has sailed. I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of brown sugar, adds a little sweetness, a can of coconut milk. Oh, yeah. You know, I used to get the curry blocks from the grocery store. They come in a box and they have like, there's like 6 blocks. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But I used to make curry like that all the dang time. But this is just as easy. And I'm just gonna wait for it to bubble a little bit and I'll let it simmer for a few minutes just to make sure the chicken stays nice and juicy. I'm just gonna cut up a little cilantro. This is my favorite herb I have found. And I know it's a polarizing herb. Not everyone loves it, but maybe give it a second chance. Oh, I almost cut my finger off. It's a little thin for me, so I'm just gonna add a little cornstarch slurry. It's equal parts cornstarch and water. Of course, I don't measure, so, but I do know you're supposed to have equal parts, and that'll thicken it right up. Oh, you're hungry? I'm not gonna lie, part of the reason why I made this dish is because it had red and green in it. I thought it looked festive, even though the flavors definitely don't remind me of Thanksgiving or Christmas, or Thanksgiving for that matter. But maybe they remind you of Thanksgiving. I don't know. I didn't grow up in your home. We ate pasta for Thanksgiving, so we're Italian. That makes sense. Anyway, I got a taste of it. Absolutely delicious. Okay, Meredith's ready to eat, so bon appetit! For dessert this week, no brownies, but I have been wanting to make these sugar cookies for, I'm not kidding, since June. 5 months is a long time to wait for a delicious dessert. So we're finally gonna do it, except for instead of pink frosting, this is just the cookie. The frosting ingredients I'll share with you in a second. And we're gonna cover them in these sprinkles that I've had since last year. And I didn't make anything with them, despite them being half full, mostly because Wentworth gets into them and dumps them everywhere. Our vacuum ate most of these, no joke.
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna need sprinkles. That's not even for the cookie. You need, relax.
Sprinkles can wait. He's giving me a bit of comedy.
Baking soda, sugar, vanilla extract, and almond extract. I thought I had some. Huge oversight because that's my favorite thing about sugar cookies. You can omit that obviously if you don't like the taste of almonds, but I definitely do, so I keep it in. You need flour, butter, and eggs. Super simple, right? Except for I bought the butter that comes in the block, so I had to cut it myself. Not sure how accurate this is gonna be. Not sure how great my knife cuts are. I mean, that looks pretty perfect if you ask me. I'm just saying. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna whip it all up. You need 1 cup of butter softened, and I just throw mine in the microwave. 10-second intervals twice. 2 cups of sugar.
Sugar.
You may be thinking, wow, that's a lot of sugar. It is, but I also feel like, well, these are sugar cookies, so what do you expect? 4 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'll do this one, perfect. You know what, I would just do 2 teaspoons of almond. That's what I would do, but I don't have it, so why don't you do it for me? Ah, Meredith. Sure, this needs to be creamed. I don't know what I'm thinking, just dumping it all in. I'm distracted, apparently. 1 teaspoon of salt. That's the first time I've ever measured salt to put in. There's also a little bit of pepper in there, but we're just gonna look past that, okay? 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 4 3/4 cup of flour. And if you're a pro, you can mix the flour and baking soda together, but I'm not here to wash an extra bowl. Okay, I feel like this isn't done. It's still, did I like forget to add? Oh, Meredith. All right, I'm not sure if I forgot to add a cup of flour, but I'm gonna add some flour. Should I? Well, I checked my measuring cup and it looks like it wasn't a full cup, even though it said it was a full cup. So that's why I don't trust anybody in my life. Anyway, I added just shy of a cup, so about 3/4 more cup, and that looks a heck of a lot better. I'm not sure, this butter makes me laugh. I'm not sure how thick this is supposed to be. I think that it looks good enough. It's not like rolling consistency, but we're not rolling it, and I don't want to make it too dry, you know? I am going to grease my pan. Oh, and I should probably add, my pan is larger than what the directions call for, which is an 18 by 13 by 1 inch. This is, I want to say at least 20. I don't know. I'm definitely not gonna get my measuring tape out. I just know it's bigger, but you know what? It'll be fine. Maybe a little thin, but we'll get over it. Oh my gosh, sugar cookie dough. It's the best, am I right? Too bad my kids aren't here to enjoy it with me. Psych! I bet they're gonna be back any second now. In July, it may have been June or July. Oh man, that hurt. But we made the strawberry shortcake one, and that was absolutely delicious. I'm gonna grease my hands. Well, that was fun. And by fun, I mean torture. The good thing is, we only have to let it cook for about 10 minutes, 375. Okay, here it is all finished. Doesn't that look beautiful? And you know what I love about these cookie bars? The fact that I don't have to roll them out and shape them into shapes. Because I don't know about you, I have yet to find the perfect sugar cookie recipe that holds its shape without puffing up or being too dense. I do watch, hold on, we're gonna start on this frosting and then remind me to talk to you about who I watch on Instagram. Okay, we're gonna whip up our frosting. Hopefully it's delicious. You can't really mess up frosting. Half a cup of softened butter. Well, I say you can't mess it up and then watch me go. You know, I cut this before it was softened. Now it just kind of melted onto itself. A little bit of vanilla extract. This is not how I normally make my frosting, but you know. I'm gonna whip the butter. The way I make my frosting is just to whip the butter for 5 good minutes. I don't know the science behind it, but it just makes the frosting so much better. All right, I semi-changed my mind. I'm not gonna do it the way I normally do it, only because it's so time consuming and I don't feel like it, okay? So I'm dumping in 4 cups of powdered sugar. Normally what I do is, I can't remember, half a cup at a time or 1 cup at a time, and let it mix for a solid 2 minutes, just so it's all light and airy when it's finished. I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of milk to this. It doesn't take much. And normally I don't measure that either, but then I run the gamut of, at the end, adding more milk or adding more powdered sugar, and then it's a finasco. It actually looks pretty nice and fluffy. Well, good enough is what I'm going to say. And I'm gonna spread it. Ugh. Hopefully I made enough. It surely doesn't look like much. And that's it. So I threw the icing on there. Looks delicious, but it could look even more delicious. And here is the main reveal. Main reveal, so good. The sprinkles really kick this dish up a notch, or 5. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to dig in. I'll let you know the taste of it. This is definitely easier to make than, like, you know, your normal sugar cook. Well, was it easier? I don't know. Yeah, do what you want, but that's what I decided to do. For me, this is a pretty good ratio of like cookie to icing, but I think my kids are gonna want a bit more icing, so that's something to keep in mind. Oh, that's a nice cut right there. So delicious. Okay, I'm gonna take a bite. I'll say this. I enjoy the strawberry shortcake more. Oh, wait. You know what? It's delicious. You know what's missing? Almond extract. That's what it is. But delicious nonetheless. Light, fluffy, airy, beautiful. Yum. Bon appetit. And that is it for What's for Dinner this week. I hope you enjoyed all the recipes that I shared, and the dessert especially. Let me know if you make any of them. Tag me on Instagram. I always love when you guys make the meals that I share. It's like we're actually best friends in real life, sharing recipes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, subscribe, put a little happy in your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.